is this thing just cheap or is it actually straight up value? Let's find out. What's up guys? Welcome back to the Wheels Record channel. So a couple months ago, I reviewed this Detail Co Nemesis Rinseless wash, and this is actually the most affordable rinseless wash on the market. This 60-ounce bottle is only $10, and a gallon bottle is actually only $39. So it's priced very competitively, just like the rest of the Detail Co's line. But there's one problem I found with this rinseless wash, is that it is the foamiest rinseless wash out there. That is not a hybrid wash. And for a normal rinseless wash, although this smells great, it has great lubrication, it feels nice on the sponge, but the foam was just unbearable. So very quickly, Eddie from Detail Co noticed this issue and they immediately fixed it. Well, allegedly, because I need to check out this new Nemesis if it's still as foamy as the last batch. And if the foaming issue is fixed, this is probably going to rank at the top of all the rinseless wash because of its value. And although I haven't tested every rinseless wash on the market, but so far the ones I've tried, they're all pretty much more similar than different, except for this, how foamy it is. But if it's fixed, then the price is going to beat out all its competitors. So then, why the heck would you not get this? Let's find out why. So here, I got my 2 gallons of water and also these super nice gloves that Becca actually recommended to me. So thank you, Becca. So here's the new Nemesis. I have it written new, so I don't have it mixed up with the old one. So for 2 gallons of water, I'm gonna do 1 ounce of the rinseless wash. So here's 1 ounce. It's got that nice kind of pink purple color. All right, moment of truth. Let's mix this up and see if this is gonna foam. The previous version was foaming because of the sponge, but for rinseless wash, you generally use it with a sponge because it's just safer. The sponge, what it's great at doing is releasing dirt. So you use the sponge to pick up dirt on the car, then you bring it back into the bucket, and so you can release it back into the bucket. And from what I'm seeing right now, this is not bad at all. I'll insert a clip from last time when I used it. Man, that foam could almost compare to normal soap. So now that the new one is not foaming as ridiculously as the old one, let's see if it's gonna clean the same as the old one. So in the IK here, I got the same rinseless solution mixed up with Nemesis, and I also got my air compressor from Xiaomi hooked up here. So I'm just going to pre-treat this door panel and let's see how the rinseless is doing. And you guys see how dirty this car is. So let's see if the rinseless is actually lifting up all that dirt and emulsifying. You can definitely see that dirt being dragged down. The rinseless is kind of lifting up all the grit. So now that it's sit a little bit, let's rinse this off and see if it's rinsing out the dirt. Oh yeah, that's lifting. So all the streaks of dirt and grime is basically gone now. So it should be a pretty safe surface to start contact washing. So I'm gonna spray on the rinseless again, just get a light coat of it, and bring this sponge to it. So let's see, just a quick glide. See how this is cleaning. Not too bad. So that's about the dirt left after I pre-treat and rinse off. So you can see the rinseless is definitely cleaning this up before I get into contact washing. So dunk it back in the bucket, pull it out, clean sponge again. So I'm gonna get into the bottom panel. This is gonna be where it's dirtiest. Okay, I can still see a little bit of bubbles. I would definitely say this rinseless wash probably still foams a little bit more than other rinseless wash. Like the DIY detail one I am very used to using. This definitely still foams a little bit more. So it kind of depends on that preference you have. And the water behavior on here, it leaves streaks behind, unlike DIY detail one that webs and it becomes a sheet of water and it just kind of fights itself off. And this kind of leaves a trail of my strokes behind. So something a little different. This kind of acts more like traditional soap, maybe surfactant heavier than polymer. I'm not sure, but it definitely behaves a little differently. So on this door, I'm just going to spray on the rinseless and I'm gonna go straight into contact washing. But I'll let it draw a little bit so I'm not being a little too dangerous here. Again, it's kind of something I need to get used to. The water behavior is for sure different. Now, I don't know if I like it. So yeah, a lot more dirt this time. I'm gonna give it a second pass. And get into the bottom one. So check this out. It's definitely a lot more dirt than the front door because I didn't do the foam rinse foam method. I just went straight to contact washing. This in a bucket, swish it around, squeeze. It'll release that dirt. And take a look at how clean this is now. It's as if I never used this sponge. So just to be safe, I'm gonna give it one more wipe before I dry this off. And let's see if it's actually clean, because I'm gonna spray some water on here and see the water behavior. So here's my drying towel. This is a Diva towel from the House of Rags. It's a lower profile twist loop towel. It's actually very nice. It feels like I'm gliding on the paint right now. Let's spray some water on and see if the hydrophobics are back, because these panels are ceramic coated with a DIY detail 8-3 stack. So we should be getting pretty good hydrophobics here. So let's start with the front door. I wouldn't say this is back to 100%. Seems a little clogged. But that might just be this area where it gets the most abrasion. But yeah, this is looking good. I would say this is definitely clean from just that quick rinse and wash. So check out all that dirt, all the salt accumulated onto the back bumper. I'm just gonna spray it on. And again, I'm not gonna rinse off. So there, I'm just gonna rinse it on and let it dwell for a little and go straight into contact washing. All right, so now that it's dwelled a little bit, again, with a sponge, just gonna go over it. And again, I'll always recommend doing the foam rinse foam method because it'll still be safer than what I'm doing right now. But if you know what you're doing, or you don't have access to water and you just wanna use rinses as a hostess wash, I got a video from a couple weeks ago, so check that out. So you see all that dirt, dunk it back in the bucket, gone. So yeah, cleaning ability, pretty good. I cannot say if I like the DIY detail cleaning ability better or this, because my guts is telling me that the DIY detail one is cleaning a little better, just on certain spots like butt guts or bird droppings. I tend to find the DIY detail one to be emulsifying a little better. So here I got some stripes of road grime. You can see if I spray on it. Let's see how Nemesis can take that off. But even right now, you can see that it's leaving some bubbles behind. I don't know why, it bothers me a little bit. It's just, when I'm using Rinseless, I don't like to see bubbles. I like to see the solution encapsulating in dirt and show me whether it's clean or dirty. So the bubbles will kind of mask that. And that's why I don't prefer bubbles in Rinseless wash. All right, so this is the rear spoiler. Look how nasty this is. Again, all I'm gonna do is just spray on the Nemesis and just let it dwell. I'm not even gonna use the foam rinse home method, which is going to be more effective and safer as well. So I'm making it as hard as it can for Nemesis right now to see how this really performs. So Nemesis had a very easy time just pulling down all that dirt. And I can see a little bit of grit here, which is why doing a foam rinse foam method will ensure you get rid of that grit. But as long as your surface is very well lubricated, you should be fine. But the foam rinse foam method, which just kind of gives you that insurance and make sure that there's no grit left on the car, or at least minimal grit. That way your wash can be as safe as possible. And for corners like this, if you can get with your sponge, you grab a little brush here, get in that crevice. That also works too. Just make sure after this, you come back with a sponge to pick up all that stuff that you just flushed out, because the sponge will pick that up and release it back in the bucket. Check out all that dirt that it's being emulsified. This is how dirty this back hatch was, and after a single wipe, you can see how the water clumped up into drops, and all that dirt is just being collected. So in this case, I will go back with a second pass until you don't see that discolored droplets anymore. So of course, the benefit of Rinseless is after you contact wash, you don't need to rinse this off. You go straight to drying. And Rinseless itself being a lubricant, this is very good for your towel because your towel won't have that chance of scratching your paint, since your drying stages is going to be where you scratch your car the most. So using this nice microfiber, again, this is a Diva towel from the House of Rags. It glides so smoothly. The one thing I gotta give it to Nemesis is that it has really good slickness. Like, it almost feels like it's made for people who are really into soap washing and are just getting into Rinseless. It almost feels like a close cousin to traditional soap. So this is what I mean. I'm doing the bumper right now and it's got this annoying grill. I'm just getting soap, these bubbles, stuck in these crevices. And it's hard to get them out. So that's why I don't really like Rinseless foaming. It's because of this reason. All right guys, so after testing a new batch of Nemesis Rinseless Wash, what do I think? Now, does it still foam? Yes, and it actually does still foam quite a bit with a sponge, which I do recommend using a sponge because just how well it releases dirt into your bucket, which will make your wash a little safer. But the current batch for sure foams less than the very first batch, which was crazy. It was almost foaming like regular soap, but this still foams. But if you like that, this probably is the Rinseless Wash for you because there's no other Rinseless Wash, and again, regular Rinseless Wash, that foams as much as this. And like I said before, it kind of resembles more to that regular soap. And if you're used to using a regular foam wash with regular soap, then this will probably be a closer stepping stone to the Rinseless Wash for you. And my impression with this Rinseless Wash is that it feels like my wash media is floating a little bit more, whereas the other Rinseless Wash that I've used, such as the DIY Detail one, feels more like I'm gliding. So it's just a little bit of different user experience. But for sure, this will do what a Rinseless Wash can do. It does a good job. It just foams a little. It's just kind of like the personality of this Rinseless Wash. So if you don't mind that, this is definitely the most bang for your buck, because for this little bottle, it's only $10. For the gallon bottle, $39. That is the cheapest Rinseless Wash I've seen on the market. But if you prefer zero foam in your rinseless wash like I do, I still see this as a total win, because them coming out with this product will add to the competition, and the competition will ultimately always benefit us, the consumer. And hopefully them coming out with this really competitive price will help drive down the prices of all the other rinseless washes to make them stay competitive. And even if prices don't get driven down, maybe this can inspire other brands to come out with more innovative rinseless washes. Maybe they'll have stronger cleaning rinseless washes, maybe stronger dilution ratio, anything that will make them more innovative and more competitive or more unique. So that's where I really appreciate Detail Co coming out with this rinseless wash. It certainly beats all the rinseless washes out there in its value. So if you're really value oriented and you still want great products, this rinseless wash is definitely worth considering. So I'll leave this link down in the description below. And if you purchase anything from the House of Rags, you can use the code WillsRecord10 to get 10% off. And that way I'll get a kickback and you'll help support this channel, and I'll really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this is helpful and informative. I just want to showcase these more value-oriented products to you guys, because we don't always need to spend a ton of money and follow the latest trends and use the most expensive products. I also want to thank you guys for reaching 3,000 subscribers on this channel, which is a huge milestone to me, and I really appreciate all the help and support that you guys have shown me. And I'm also really glad my content can provide some value to you guys, whether it's information or entertainment. So if you guys have any feedback or things that you guys want me to do in the future, let me know and leave a comment down below. I'll make sure to get to them. So thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye. Oh, jeez. I should have picked a better spot.